Just as a disclaimer, we want you to know that some of the movies that we will be reviewing were shot in a different time and era where people of race and sex were not treated equally. We understand this and hope you do too. The movies or anything that happened on the sets are not the views of this podcast or what this show is intended to be all about.
Exactly. And we want to give due diligence in presenting the movie and not the views of the cast or directors or anyone involved. But we also feel it's necessary to let the audience know some of the background information to get a feel for what was happening at the time of shooting the film. Again, we hope you understand that we do not agree with everything that went on, and we just want to give out the information. And with that being said, hope you enjoy the show.
At 0300 this morning, TDRS picked up an automated navigation beacon broadcasting at 2-minute intervals in Neptune orbit.
This is incredible. It's the Event Horizon. She's come back.
The Event Horizon was the culmination of a secret government project to create a spacecraft capable of faster-than-light flight. The ship doesn't really go faster than light. What it does is it creates a dimensional gateway that allows it to jump instantaneously from one point of the universe to another light years away.
Where's she been for the last 7 years, Doctor?
That's what we're here to find out. After 7 years in deep space.
There were 18 people on board this ship when it disappeared. I want them all accounted for.
Opening outer door.
It came back, abandoned.
Any crew?
Negative. This place is a tomb.
But it didn't come back alone.
Captain Miller! I've got some problems here!
This ship has been beyond the boundaries of our universe. Who knows where it's been? And what it's brought back with it.
Did you hear that? What is it? The ship is reacting to us and the reactions are getting stronger.
What are you telling me? That this ship is alive?
I have such wonderful things to show you.
Oh my God!
It knows my secrets. It knows my fears.
Vacate. I want off this ship.
You can't leave. She won't let you.
God help us.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, as usual.
Terence.
And Kyle.
Kyle, today we will be discussing a movie that was kind of requested, but not really. But it's something that I had never seen.
Kind of requested?
Well, I mean, it was kind of requested by Kyle.
Yeah, it was up there. My suggestion film. It's a film that's near and dear to my heart because it scarred me as a child.
But we are talking about Event Horizon. It's episode 62. So without further ado, I'm not going to ask any questions this week. We're just going to jump right into it.
Keep skipping questions, man.
Well, because I got to think of them.
Questions, yeah.
So, Terence, let's take it away.
All right, Event Horizon. This came out August 15th, 1997. This movie runs around an hour and 36 minutes. So your average movie length. There was a rough cut of this movie that was 2 hours and 10 minutes. But as you'll see in later conversation, a lot of that was cut for various reasons. This is rated R for various reasons.
It was rated NC-17
for a while, yeah.
Yeah, until they cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This had a budget of $60 million. Mm-hmm. And it didn't. The domestic box office, it made $26.6 million. So
that's still a failure, but not as a like. I always expected that to be like they made $26. Like, oh no.
Well, here's where you see international box office, which they made $711.
$711. Wow, I didn't even know. That was just. Okay,
but I wonder, was that banned in certain
I would imagine
arenas?
So.
Maybe
I would imagine there's a lot of places that it didn't pass sort of their whatever censorship laws they have. I know, like you said, Germany has some pretty strict laws.
Yeah.
Australia has their own pretty strict laws when it comes to graphic content, along with
It was definitely a movie trying to ride the line in America, which puts it over the edge in a lot of other countries.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So worldwide, we're still looking at only $26.6 million. We can look at the box office of August 1997. The top 5, which obviously this movie's not even close, but it's still interesting to look at the top 5 of the month and year that.
Let's see if we can guess any of. Is Titanic on there? Was that 97?
No,
I don't believe Titanic was 97.
I thought that was like December 97. Maybe it's
honest. I think it was at the tail end of it,
right.
Which means it would be count for 98.
Yeah, I believe it's
So box office 97 at number 1 we have Air Force One.
Great
number
movie.
2 we have Conspiracy Theory.
Not so great.
Oh, wait till you see what's next. We have Spawn.
Abomination.
And then
that's for the top 5 of that. What a weak year.
Then we have George of the Jungle. And then at number 5, we have Men in Black. And then now here's the box office just for 1997. We have Men in Black at number 1, Jurassic Park: The Lost World at number 2, Liar Liar at number 3, Air Force One at number 4, and then the special edition of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. That's what. So 1997 is when all the special editions came out. So
that's when I started that the whole thing.
Yeah. So they came in top charts when that came out.
I want to see it 6 more times today.
So I think it's always no. You know what? I'm not even gonna down that rabbit hole. We'll talk about.
Here's a can of worms. Terrence want to open up for me.
When we do another Star Wars,
I'll bring up that stuff when
in
we
a galaxy
come back
far,
to
far
that.
away.
All right. So and then all the way at number 77 in the box office of 1997 is Event Horizon.
What was right above it? I wonder.
Let's see. We have this was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. The writer was Philip Eisner. We had director of photography Adrian Biddle, editor Martin Hunter, producers we got Jeremy Bolt as producer, Colin Brown as executive producer, Nick Gillett as executive producer, Lawrence Gordon producer, Sarah Isherwood assistant producer, and then Lloyd Levin producer. And this was distributed by Paramount. And then finally we have the tech specs. Sound, we're looking at Dolby Digital. This movie's in color. We're getting, I think our next couple movies are, except for one. Aspect ratio 2.55 by 1. And that was the intended ratio, but it also came out in 2.35 by 1, which was probably what they released on
the cinema VHS and
VHS.
all the formats. Yeah.
Then we have this was filmed with Panavision Panaflex premium cameras and Panavision C, the E series lenses. This was edited in Denham, UK, so we actually have a different one, which is Rank Film Laboratories. Usually, we see a lot of Technicolor in Hollywood, but this one was done in the UK.
The whole thing was done in the UK.
That's right.
Everything.
Yeah, everything was done in the UK there.
And then we have the film length of 2,703 meters. And interesting thing about sort of it being filmed in the UK, and I didn't see anything in particular with my research of it, but I wonder if they had encountered the same sort of roadblocks that some other movies we've went over that filmed in the UK, because they have very strict sort of labor laws, so there's really no overtime. as far as working goes. It's like, hey, you guys have to wrap up or be done with filming at this time, and then you can't go.
But see, this is one of those movies that's done at a lot later time too.
That's
so
true.
the ones we've covered usually are a lot earlier than that. So
that's true. So I don't know if
I got some stuff in my notes where we'll talk about it, but I don't think that applied anymore.
Okay, got it. Because I think that was Apocalypse Now that dealt with that when they were editing.
Yeah, we were talking about that in our podcast. Yeah, that was Apocalypse Now had a lot of difficulties.
Oh yeah. And let's see. Oh yeah, cinematographic process. We're looking at VistaVision.
Vision of Vistas.
And then printed film format, 35 millimeter. And now for the awards. There aren't many.
Matter of fact, his intro to the awards was longer than the list of awards.
Really is.
Talk about a backhanded compliment.
So we have Brussels International Festival of Fantasy Film, also known as BIFF. It's got 3 F's.
Is that a Back to the Future reference?
Come on, Biff.
1998, they won the Pegasus Audience Award. And that went to Paul W.S. Anderson. Then they have Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, 1998. They were nominated for the Chainsaw Award of Best Actor, Sam Neill. Then International Horror Guild, 1998. They were nominated for IHG Award for Best Movie. And I would imagine that the one before that, the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, is another
horror-centric thing.
Awards set.
And even outside of the award thing, it definitely has gone on to become a cult classic in many respects.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Which is why we're covering it here.
And I believe you can watch this. I don't know if it's still on there, but it was on Netflix for quite some time. It might still be.
Netflix.
You know who the main presenter for the Chainsaw Award was, don't you?
No, I do.
Leatherface. So, Kyle, you want to go ahead and take the cast away?
That's right. Moving on to the cast. We have a really great cast. I really like them all. First up, we have Sam Neill, who plays Dr. William Weir.
Funny, he played what? Dr. Alan
Grant in Jurassic Park 1 and 3, and soon to be the third movie. I think was it Fallen Kingdom, or the next one is? I forget what the name is. And he was also in Hunt for the Wilder People and In the Mouth of Madness, one of the great Lovecraftian films. Next up, we have Lawrence Fishburne, plays the heroic Captain Miller. You'll of course know Lawrence Fishburne from movies like the Matrix trilogies, the Matrix trilogy, the John Wick series, Contagion, and his very first film, which we covered just a while ago, Apocalypse Now.
I will say I was super excited when I saw him in John Wick. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen Lawrence Fishburne in a movie.
It's always a delight. It's just like he's never Lawrence Fishburne, yay! You're always happy to see Lawrence Fishburne in real life or in acting, I bet. Next up, we have Jolie Richardson, who plays a character called Stark. You may recognize her from movies such as Color Out of Space, starring Nicolas Cage, Snowden, Maggie, The Patriot, and King Ralph. So she's been around doing great movies. King Ralph.
I haven't seen that movie.
We've got to do that movie sometime. That was a classic too. I like that movie. Next up, we have Kathleen Quinlan, plays Peters. You may know her from American Graffiti, the movie Breakdown, and the Twilight Zone movie. So great stuff going in the science fiction route for her. Next up, we have Richard T. Jones, who might be the secret hero of the movie, in my opinion. Plays Cooper. You might recognize him from movies such as Jury Duty, Phone Booth. Jury, yes. What's his?
Was he?
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore, yes. Pauly Shore's Jury Duty. Yeah. Phone Booth, Collateral, and most recently, I saw him. He's in the 2014 Godzilla movie. I don't remember seeing him. He's not the biggest actor in the world, but he does well in this movie. Next up, we have Jack Noseworthy, plays Justin. You might also recognize him from Breakdown with Kathleen Quinlan. She was also in Breakdown and Jack Noseworthy in Breakdown. He was also in Undercover Brother and another Pauly Shore classic, Encino Man. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Jason Isaac, who plays character DJ. You'll recognize him from movies such as Armageddon, The Patriot, The Death of Stalin, and Soldier, Equilibrium, and Doomsday.
Equilibrium was a great movie.
Equilibrium is an amazing movie. Another one on the list.
Not to take anything away from Undercover Brother.
Also... Yeah,
I love that movie too. Because you mess with the fro, you got to go.
Yeah. All right, Jimbo.
Are you done with the cast?
I'm done with the cast.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this movie, and we'll unwrap it or whatever. Before we do, Terence, I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh no!
Give us a synopsis of this movie.
All right, so I'm already gonna flub it. What's the name of the? Obviously the ship's name is the name of the movie, which I completely blanked. I'm like, what's the name? It's the Event Horizon. So the Event Horizon goes on an expedition, disappears, and then they send the
how many years
Lewis
later?
And Clark 7. I think.
I believe it was like 24.
Yeah.
It's like 2015. They established a colony on the moon or Mars, and then it's like commercial space mining.
It disappeared. Like there's 24 years in between the events of like
modern day to
now. But then the ship itself, the Event Horizon, has been gone for 7 years
without any form of communication.
Without any form of communication, because that's the big sort of stake in this whole movie. Is like, where has it been in these 7 years?
But wasn't they say it was like on the backside of Saturn or Neptune or something?
I believe it was Neptune.
Was it Neptune?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was probably Neptune then.
I thought there was an allegory. It might be my notes later, but I thought there was a reason why it was Neptune.
Event Horizon disappears. 7 years later, they get communication, and then they send the Lewis and Clark to rescue potential survivors on the Event Horizon, and then they encounter unexpected, unforeseen events.
A malevolent entity, you might.
I really like how they named it the Lewis and Clark as a shout out, to the Lewis and Clark, the expedition. Or I can't even think of the word.
Yeah,
I'm Terence in it right now, but the trailblazers of American founding of going west, Northwest Passage and all that,
venturing to where no man's gone before.
Right,
that kind of idea.
That's why I said but they're going out probably to space where the furthest anybody's ever gone besides the Event Horizon at that point. So
I think in that instance it fits, but also I was like, it's a rescue ship, so it was interesting that they went with Lewis and Clark, is because it seemed like that crew in particular is for rescuing in general. They seem to be that always on call emergency crew.
All right, so here we go. Let's dive into a little bit about fun facts of this movie, some trivia and stuff. So,
do it.
Paul Anderson's initial cut of the film ran for, as Terence said, 130 minutes and was quite graphically violent, so much so that both test audiences and the studio balked at the finished product. Paramount ordered him to cut the film by 30 minutes and tone down some of the violence, a decision he now regrets. Although it was announced in 2012 that a full version of the film had been found on a VHS tape, Anderson revealed in 2017 that due to bad archiving, a longer version no longer exists.
Yeah, it also, when it came to test screening, Paramount ordered Anderson to remove the horrifying scenes and cut the running time. So it was very much the Paramount studio bringing the hammer down, saying, no, we can't do
But how would you like to be one of those test audiences, one of those select few people that got to see the finished product?
It was supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And then by doing so, the film not only lost some of its more intense thrills, but it also removed some key elements that would have made the
plot
whole
more cohesive.
Bloody affair more cohesive. Yeah, for sure. And this included stuff like, I'm not going to get into the super graphic stuff, but obviously there was excessive gore, there was some cannibalism, eviscerated bodies, so on and so forth. And that was a lot of the stuff that was removed.
It was like Paul W. Anderson found his Cronenberg himself.
Exactly.
Himself there. It's like, that's why I want to think about this comparison. But furthermore, I would say it's even though we've lost the surgeon of the film that is incredibly graphic and gory and disgusting, there is the argument that is actually has a little bit of a less is more approach to maybe seeing all this horrific action and gore would have just kind of saturated you too much where you just wouldn't really feel it at that point.
You do get a clip of it in the movie. They do when
which implies so much more worse things in your mind than you could possibly ever put on screen.
Right. The rotational shot of the space station over the Earth took nearly a third of the film's visual effects budget.
All for that one
little... basically, the gateway machine, for those that haven't seen the movie, the gateway is basically housing a black hole on a ship, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's just like this rotational, diagonal thing. But Paul Anderson actually... redesigned it from the original concept to involve the interlocking circles as a homage to the puzzle box in Hellraiser in 1987, which served as an inspiration for this film by Clive Barker. So if you've seen that, you'll see some similarities there.
especially and visual aesthetics, especially like Catholicism and all those things.
Yeah, I found the sort of like the Gothic, sort of industrial Gothic take that they had in the ship's design.
The Event Horizon is just a giant cathedral.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean that was very cool in like sort of the design of the ship, and
it was pretty cool looking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The spacesuits worn by the actors weighed 65 pounds.
Wow.
Otherwise known as 30 kilograms each. Lawrence Fishburne nicknamed his Doris. But they were so heavy that they had to have special hanging poles for the actors to rest on them between takes because it was impossible to sit down.
It's like a real workout.
Yeah.
You're not.
Right.
You know?
But a lot of them got back pains and all that, you know what I mean?
I would
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they look really good. I mean, they're good and bulky, and they look real.
Like we said, Anderson's initial cut was received the Kiss of Death NC-17 rating. He also said that the movie's cult status was predicted to him years before by none other than Kurt Russell. Anderson screened Event Horizon before they started work on Soldier in 1998, and Russell said, "Forget about what this movie is doing now. In 15 years' time, this is going to be the movie you're glad you made." So
yeah.
From greenlight to completion, the film took 10 months, an unusual short time for such a complex and effects-driven film.
Special effects take forever. Well, even nowadays, it still takes like teams and teams of people.
That's the real, workhorse of the industry nowadays.
The model of the Event Horizon includes a complete X-wing from Star Wars as part of an antenna array.
Yep.
The model is visible on the lower portion of the Event Horizon during the first flyby by the Lewis and Clark. So that was pretty cool.
I wish I would have known that when I watched it.
Now you got to go back and watch it again.
You can get the image, I think, on Google. It's pretty easy. It's nice.
Philip Eisner actually wrote this movie after a family tragedy. He had recently entered a multi-picture writing agreement in an effort to force himself to get back to work. He pitched this idea of The Shining in space to the studio, which was very receptive, which I would agree that's probably what this movie is.
It's definitely I can definitely see how that's the goal there. Yeah. I don't think it's succeeded, but that's definitely the goal.
I will also say when this movie was originally written, they did change up some stuff because they were like, okay, this is a little too close to Alien. And then so they had to do some changes to make, like when it first started, a lot of people were like, are you sure we're not ripping off Alien?
They had to make some very conscious choices to remain distinct while not ripping off other films.
Especially when, one of the most prominent sci-fi horrors came out
basically the whole
pretty
time,
close to the time.
The shot where Sam Neill stares out of a window, which then pulls back to reveal he's on the deck of a spaceship orbiting Earth, took the digital special effects house Cinesite 10 weeks to achieve. The shot lasts for 45 seconds.
It's incredibly great. It's disorienting how it does a complete rotation.
Honestly, except for sort of the beginning where they're kind of showing items floating in the sort of long hallway, like special effects were really good in this movie, except for kind of that scene. That scene was like, oh no, am I in for a cheesy
I really would have liked to have seen it in 3D. It'd been cool.
That would have been.
Especially with that stuff floating.
Yeah, especially the water scenes, some of those. The fire even.
Paul Anderson also done Mortal Kombat from 1995.
Yep.
But he turned down opportunities to direct X-Men in 2000, The X-Files in 1998, and Alien Resurrection in 1997. So,
those are all movies I would have loved to see in his take on, to be totally honest.
Right?
When Dr. Weir opens the blinds in his room during the opening sequence of the film, a whooshing sound effect can be heard. This sound effect is taken none other from the video game Doom, heard when the player opens the door. We were just talking about that for breakfast.
We were talking about some parallels between this movie. It made us think about sort of other franchises that had similar sort of premises. It made us think about Doom. And it also made us think about like Warhammer 40K stuff. So
specifically about ships going through hell and those kind of ideas. And also
opening portals where they shouldn't.
Or even look at the whole the Dead Space trilogy took so much specifically from Event Horizon. And that's a pretty great video series too.
Clive Barker was actually consulted on the project during pre-production of this movie too, just for the record.
Oh, nice.
The Event Horizon was modeled on Notre Dame Cathedral. Its long corridor resembles a church nave, and its interior is filled with cruciform shapes, columns, and vaults. Also, its engines resemble rotated church towers, which is very interesting considering what happens in the movie. So the watch in the spinning tunnel at the start of the film is an Omega Speedmaster, the same watch worn by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on their moon missions. I thought that was cool too.
Interesting little details.
We talked about this was entirely produced within the UK, including the special effects. It occupied 7 sound stages at Pinewood Studios outside of London. Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut from 1999 was being filmed on adjacent sound stages. So Anderson didn't do the sequel to Mortal Kombat, which was Mortal Kombat Annihilation, to work on this film, which I wish he would have, because I'm sure it would have been a better movie.
It definitely would have been a better movie. I'm a sad defender of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but I agree. Definitely Anderson would be a much better choice for director.
Production designer Joseph Bennett had to find a crew in Britain that could build and finish the sets in 4 weeks before shooting began.
That's insane.
Yeah, talk about crunch time.
The airlock the ship docks at is unlucky number 13 in Roman numerals. Among those in the audience in 1997 was Galaxy Quest screenwriter Robert Gordon, who was amused enough by the notion of the meat grinder tunnel that in response he created Galaxy's Quest infamous corridor filled with chompers.
That is hilarious. that makes so much sense now.
It's all coming together now.
Dr. Weir shares his name with the historical figure Johann Weyer, also known as Weyer of Wierus, or Weir of Wierus. He was a Dutch physician, occultist, and demonologist. So if you've seen this movie, then you really understand the connection there.
Correlation to those two.
There is a series being developed based on the movie and will be directed by Adam Wingard. No release dates as of yet. So there
Amazon.
Is it going to be on Amazon?
Prime, yeah.
I didn't.
It's going to be done through Amazon Studios, which is very interesting. They're putting out a lot of stuff.
Well, they got Lord of the Rings. They got
Lord of the Rings.
Wheel
they
of
just
Time.
came out with
$50 million a season or $500 million. I forget what it was. Like an insane amount of money going on Amazon.
And they've done already a handful of good shows that they put.
It's going to be like that joke right now where like anyone can pitch a Netflix show and get a special done. It's going to be that for like the next 5 years of Amazon. Like anyone can pitch Amazon, you'll get $50 million.
Right.
I'm just interested to see how some of those are going to turn out. So,
Same.
Scott Glenn and Bill Pullman both turned down the role of Dr. William Weir. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tommy Lee Jones, and Bruce Willis were considered for the role of Captain Miller. I can see. I'll be back.
Oh, man.
And Tommy Lee Jones is, we're searching every tin can, space station, satellite, in-house, outhouse, doghouse.
Like Bill Paxton doing that'd be so good.
Jeremy Irons and Amy Brenneman were originally set to star in this film. The first person signed to the film was director of photography Adrian Biddle. Jolie Richardson and Jason Isaacs appear again in The Patriot in 2000. That was a great movie, too. Okay, here we go. Oh, not quite yet. One of the members of the original Event Horizon crew was British director Gary Senior, who directed The Bachelor, which starred Chris O'Donnell and Renee Zellweger. So here's some other of the actors that were cast and linked to sci-fi and fantasy franchises. Sam Neill plays Dr. Alan Grant as Kyle said in Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3. Lawrence Fishburne in the Morpheus in The Matrix. Jason Isaac played Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and the sequels. The film became a cult hit among different media and even inspired games such as Dead Space in 2008 and Doom 3 in 2004, which these two nerds over here was talking about at breakfast this morning.
Fanatical Doom fans and Dead Space fans.
Director cameo, which I did not know he was in the cameo, but Paul Anderson, during the opening dream sequence, a book floats past the camera featuring a picture of the director and his name. The director himself jokes about this detail in the DVD commentary, saying it's an autobiography titled Paul Anderson Alive. The rotating corridor nicknamed the Meat Grinder that separates the gravity drive from the rest of the ship is supposed to represent the 9 circles of hell from Dante's Inferno. That poem.
Okay.
Only shots with a fixed camera could be done since camera operators became disoriented and unable to keep the camera steady. Lawrence Fishburne could not perform his run through the tunnel in one take due to the same problem. The final scene was comprised of several shorter takes, and when the fireball effect was filmed, a piece of cloth started to burn and caused a small fire.
Have you guys ever actually been to those like fairgrounds?
Yeah, fun houses.
Yeah. I mean, it's the exact same thing basically. And I couldn't imagine that's terrifying.
Super disorienting.
Yeah, still a lot of fun though.
For Jason Isaacs' death scene, the plan was originally for his entrails to be still attached to him as he hung over them. Isaacs was then supposed to raise his head, showing that he was still alive, prompting Lawrence Fishburne's character to shoot him in the head to put him out of his misery.
Wow.
Yeah. So some of the actors were stimulated to invent a backstory for their own characters. Jason Isaacs based his character on his own brother, who is a doctor. In his backstory, his character had undergone extensive surgery as a child, explaining the large scar on his chest and the visions he receives from this ship, or of him completely cut open. Isaac's asked if he could take home the dummy in his likeness with the chest sliced open. The special effects department was quite shocked with this request, so they told him they still needed it, even though they really did. Hey guys, come here, look at this.
Hey, come on, I want my dead meat. I want my dead meat. Give it to me.
The filming of the gravity drive on fire caused a real fire that partially destroyed the set.
Oh, wow.
A different set had to be built quickly where the old one was being repaired. In the end, the repaired set was only used for an additional 1 day of filming.
Wow.
Hey guys, Jimbo here. Just wanted to drop this in real quick and let you know that here, upcoming in this conversation that we're having about some of the deleted scenes, it gets pretty graphic and pretty bloody, and we talk about some things that you may not want your children to listen to, so I just want to put in a little quick warning. So if you have to skip ahead about 5 minutes or so, you may want to do that. Thanks.
Huge expense for.
So here we go. Are you ready? I'm getting ready to go through the deleted scenes.
The dark things.
The dark things.
So here are some of the deleted scenes from the original 130-minute cut. The meeting scene between Weir and some people in charge on the mission where they talk about Event Horizon dialogue from this deleted scene was included in the theatrical trailer. More backstory for Cooper and Justin, including much stronger explanation for why Justin enters the black hole. It was explained the greatest fear of Cooper was losing someone close to him, which is represented in the film by the unfortunate accident, claims Justin. Deleted love backstory between Stark and Miller. Miller finds a ripped-out tooth floating around in the Event Horizon. More scenes explaining what exactly gateway to hell, the black hole, there is. A longer version of the scene where Peter hallucinates her son with his legs all mangled with maggots all over them. After Justin almost died and is inside the water tank, Weir has hallucinations where Justin turns to his wife, Claire, who comes out and looks at him. This scene was included in the first 2 test versions of the movie, but it didn't make it in the final cut. Scene where Weir remembers his wife Claire committing suicide was also longer and very much more bloodier.
Yeah.
Now, this I'm trying to do this.
If you don't want to cover it, I understand.
I'm gonna say some stuff here. So if you have kids, this is some pretty graphic stuff. Yeah. So this is the infamous bloody orgy video was longer. Parts which are still in the scene, like one of the crew members sticking the fingers deep into the other one's eyes. A female crew member doing some stuff to a guy with an iron pipe. I'm trying to be very nonchalant about this. There was a lot of more shots of the Event Horizon crew naked and covered in blood, having violent sex and raping each other, eating each other. There's a scene where a man pulls out his intestines out of his mouth, and one crew member is held and stabbed in the back of the head with a spike, and part of his mouth and teeth drops out. Crew members are crawling on the floor while others are hitting his legs with steel bars, smashing them to pieces as he screams and is crawling away, leaving pieces of his legs behind. One girl has screws drilled into her teeth. Other girl is held while her arms is broken with a hunk of metal. One of the girls has her breast mauled and then ripped off by another crew member. Some other parts of the scene were also cut. The reason why this scene disturbed the test audience was because the filmmakers, in order to make the scene look more realistic and therefore a lot more violent, hired real-life amputees for special effects scenes where Event Horizon crew members had their body parts damaged anyways, and also porn actors were hired to make the sex and rape scenes more graphic.
Jeez.
According to producer Jeremy Bolt and director Paul W.S. Anderson, during the screening of a rough cut of this movie, some audience members started fainting while watching this scene. So,
makes sense.
Yeah, reading it,
there's a lot.
Even
there's
I
thought Kyle was going to pass out over here. Terence
it is a whole lot definitely going on in that film, and especially like I've read Clive Barker and like watched Hellraiser and watched those films. Like it's very much people who stay up all day obsessing over what kind of horrific things can go on in hell, and then Paul W. Anderson made like a big effort to I want to film every scene possible where I thought about hell.
Right. The scene where Miller finds DJ cut open and hanging was longer and had more shots of his guts on the table. The scene where the cryo chamber is filled with blood originally had a part where Weir's hand pounds against the glass from inside, smashes the chamber, letting the blood out. Then as Cooper is helping Stark to escape, a mutilated neck of Weir is climbing from a ladder upside down behind him, so he's basically walking upside down.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Originally, the scene where Miller fights with possessed Weir, there were part of where Weir gives what director Anderson refers to as the Old Testament speech to Miller and tells him that dimension of pure chaos is actually hell. The Visions of Hell sequence during the final fights between Miller and Weir was also longer, and it had more shots of Event Horizon crew members being tortured. And then there was also 3 different alternate endings.
Not surprising.
Yeah, in the first inning, Miller fights with Weir in the core. This version didn't have the jump scare at the end where the last 3 survivors are found by another rescue crew, and Stark hallucinates that she sees Weir. Instead, Stark hears screams of the Event Horizon crew and screams in fear before Cooper wakes her up. This was the original ending of the movie, and it was included in the shooting script. In the second inning, Miller fights with the Burning Man from his visions of the core instead of with Weir, but it was changed because the audiences of the second test screening didn't like it. This was the original ending. The third ending that was used in the final cut is a combination of the first 2 endings. Instead of fighting the Burning Man, Miller fights with Weir, and the jump scare was included at the very end of the movie. For his final scene, Sam Neill would come to the studio at 3 a.m. so that he could spend 7 to 8 hours in the chair for makeup.
In makeup, getting his horrific, hell starring markings.
And here's the thing: in the what do you call it? In the final cut, you really don't see a lot of it. You kind of just see mostly his face. I noticed that.
It's all like or immediate cutaways. It's just like you get like one frame of him that's like throwing somebody.
They really don't show too much, but like his whole body was actually covered in like this symbolistic scarring,
completely nude.
But and I noticed in the final cut they mostly just show his like face and kind of upper torso, but that's about it.
But in reality they did his whole body just to make him look absolutely disgusting, horrifying.
In one script version, it is revealed that the Event Horizon's computer still thinks the year is 2034 instead of 2041, as if time on the ship has stopped for the 7 years that it went missing, which would have been pretty interesting. All of the characters who die are the ones who immediately were present in the scene where the crew starts talking about the hallucinations. So there's that there too.
Also, there was so much foreshadowing in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like every time I saw something, like that something will happen there. Later.
There's also a bunch. I'm not going to read them all, but there was a bunch of additional hallucinations that were in the script but not in the movie. We could be here all day talking about that. The ship's central corridor has the shape of an eye to symbolize that the ship is always keeping watch over its victims. When Peters is following her imaginary son to the core of the ship, the gates she passes are shaped like coffins, foretelling what is about to occur.
Which I did notice that.
I noticed something looked really weird there, you know what I mean?
Like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, those look like coffins. Oh no.
The visual body count was 3, DJ, Smith, and Peters. Spoiler alert, they're dead. Miller and Weir disappear into the black hole, and Cooper and Justin and Stark survive to be rescued. Body parts of the original crews, who consisted of 18 members, are seen throughout the film, but since their deaths occur off-screen, they are not included. If it is assumed that all original crew members have died, the full body count would be 21.
Yeah, and it's also debatable. Like
Cooper was my favorite.
Even if they survived inside there, they're still trapped in hell. So they're basically still dead.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you can also argue that at the very least, Miller and his XO, what was her name again? Stark. Like those two are probably just not ever going to be okay, and Cooper's fine because Cooper never set foot on the ship.
Yeah, Cooper's
he also never. I think he's the only one who didn't experience hallucinations because
he had to step on the ship.
Did he?
Well, at the very end.
At the end, because
that's right. They went to go in there.
Right.
So yeah, he was the last.
He was only on like the tail end. He didn't do any of the exploring because he was welding most of the movie. And then,
almost got it.
He's my favorite character.
Was he the one that floated out in space? He was like, I gotta get back.
And then the whole Iron Man thing of purging his suit. It's like, I'm the cup of Superman. So good. He's the comedic relief for the whole movie. It's so good.
When Cooper activates his jetpack to get back to the Event Horizon, Purge appears in the control. It's a nod to Blade Runner in 1982. Since then, in the spinner screen used by Deckard and Guff, Purge appears when it goes to fly by. Nice. Or when it goes to fly. The man in flames who haunts Miller is revealed to be Edmund Corrick, a young crew member who died after an accident on the starship Goliath, commanded by Miller. And the floating male body with cuts over his face and body and no eyes in the opening scene foreshadows Dr. Weir gouging out his eyes and becoming disfigured with his face and body is covered in cuts. So we'll start with the youngest one of the group. Kyle, what did you think of Event Horizon? Unpack it for us.
So, I mentioned a little bit at the very beginning of the podcast, I watched this when I was definitely too young, probably closer to when I was like 10 or 11, maybe 9 or 8, I don't remember, but I watched it when I was young, and so I got scarred for life just for seeing that little 30-second snippet of the, what would you call it, the blood orgy?
Oh, jeez.
Sorry for the language there. But just having that scar me in real life, and then later watching it as an adult and really came to appreciate just how how insane it went, how far it went for how graphic details, and just trying to imagine these unfathomable terrors and almost cosmic horrors. So I truly love this film for having the audacity to try out those things, but at the same time recognize that because of the cuts and everything else, it's also a little bit of a cheesy mess that doesn't have the highest quality of filmmaking going on. Terrence, what do you think?
So I'm inclined to agree that I enjoyed this film. Now, this is my first time watching this film. It's actually been on my backlog to watch list, and as mentioned before, when I saw it on Netflix, I put it on I'm gonna watch later, and I just never got to it. I think when it comes to sort of sci-fi horror, it's a watch. Like, if you like stuff like Alien,
Jason X.
Oh, jeez. I don't talk about Jason X.
Kidding. Pandora.
I like that one.
But I think it has its place in sci-fi horror, especially because when it comes to older movies, there's not too many that are like watchable. Unless you're into sort of like cheesy sci-fi horror, then it opens up the doors a little bit. But as far as good sci-fi horror, obviously the best one when it comes to older movies, you're looking at Alien. But I think this one's also is a great honorable mention. It's a cool classic for a reason. It's a decent movie to watch, but if it's not your deal, or especially if gore is not so much where you like your horror to be, then this isn't the movie to check out. It's definitely a select viewer base for this one. It's not like a lot of the movies we cover where I can be like, everybody should watch this movie. This isn't a movie for everyone.
Not everybody.
I can see a lot of people not enjoying this, but being sort of a horror fan myself, especially, and sci-fi separately, there's not too many sci-fi horrors that I watch and enjoy, but this one I did watch. I enjoyed it, and I also like sort of the parallels to other sort of IPs that I really enjoy, as for mentioned, like Dead Space, Doom, stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. But I definitely see why this bombed.
I can see why. Yeah, too. There was never going to be a real film. Like, if they ever released the NC-17 cut, no one would have seen that, and then no one saw this version either, and it's totally fair for why. Okay, Jimbo, what do you think?
Well, this is one of those movies that I've always seen in like the video stores, Walmart $5 bins, and you always see the cover and like, oh, this looks like a nice little space movie. So I had never seen it. I didn't know much about it. Matter of fact, a couple of these movies that we got coming up I had never seen before, and that's why we're doing this podcast. This is one of those ones that you have to be careful in who you recommend it to, because there is some nudity. There's a lot of psychological things going on. There's a lot of, I guess, psychotic episodes. You have the, the kid that was at Fishburne, that had the kid that kept appearing to him, that he had lost. The guy that had it, that was. With the
little boy with the mangled legs.
No. That was that girl's. I'm talking about the kid that was on fire all the time.
The young gentleman who was on fire,
that he left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that may be a trigger point for some people. To me, the reason this flopped is you can have a lot of gore and it not be a good movie. Would I say this is a good movie? No. Compared to everything we've done, I would say this is not a good movie. Is it worth a watch one time? I would say yes. But know what you're getting into. Yeah. There is some language, there is some nudity, there is a lot of blood, a lot of guts. Even
sadomasochism.
There is a suicide. There's a lot of stuff in here. So if you do decide to watch this, just I don't want to say it's not a good movie. We can be frank. It is not a good movie. It's a fun watch at times, but just to say, hey, this is a good movie for everybody to watch, like Terence said, you can't say that. It's definitely a cult classic for a reason. It's like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It's a cult classic.
Or it's just like, say, like, like once again, the movie didn't turn out, but it had a bunch of interesting ideas for like specifically space horror that I like and appreciate.
And you can see, if you've ever read Dante's Inferno, you can or know anything about it, you can see the correlations about the black hole being hell. People getting sucked in there and all that. So it was very interesting. So for me, it was okay. I think Tiffany said this is like one of her favorite movies. I think she just got like a special edition and a poster or something. So Tiffany, sorry if I didn't like it as much as you.
I think it deserves its fan base. I really do think.
Well, no, it's going to have its fan base.
It feels so conflicted to say. I was like, I love this movie, even though I do think it's also bad in a myriad of ways. But it is a living.
I can say that as a huge fan of Evil Dead.
It is
another
a contraction of itself.
Just like,
it's a great movie, but a bad movie.
I will never watch Jurassic Park the same way. Just for the record. But yeah, so take this with a grain of salt, or as a highly warning if you do decide to watch this movie. That just know what you're in for, because it's not going to be for everybody. And if you have kids, if you're one of those parents that let them watch anything, then go for it. But if you know,
be wary.
Just
don't.
It was going to be rated NC-17 for a reason, so just be wary of that. So
on a brighter note. Our next episode
on the next episode of
the Great
North,
it's going to be
North by Northwest. Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest.
Definitely watch that.
Yeah, stop. Here we go again. It is a great movie, but I don't know. Arguably, maybe his best. So, well, I think we're closing down the Event Horizon because we've been gone 87 years. So
in the darkness.
I think this episode's coming to close, and that's wrap. And Terrence and Kyle, take it away.
And cut.